Good morning. So it's Saturday morning, which is long run day in Iten. So we are heading to a local forest to do our long run, and maybe it'll remind me of home, but with skinnier air. So I'm looking forward to it. Pretty tired because it's quite early, but it's nice getting these runs done early, and then you've got time to relax and rest before either doing another run, which I won't be doing today because it's long run day, or fitting in core and all that stuff. So I better quickly get ready. We're getting a bus to the forest. It's only a few K. I think I might run back rather than get the bus to top up my long run. But I'm looking forward to it. The group's probably waiting for me, so I better get going. So this is the long run crew. Get on the bus to the forest and then put some time on feet. So we're just starting our long run. We start as a group, keep it together for a bit, take it slow, nice and warm up, and then we'll split up, but we'll all have a guide with us so we don't get lost. And we've got some company, which is just a really nice way of doing it. You just feel safe and you feel like you're not going to get lost in the forest. So 2 hours of long run coming up at altitude, can't wait. I've dropped a manual on my pacer. Actually, he's gone to the toilet, but I'm climbing a massive hill in a beautiful forest at altitude. I'm out of breath and I absolutely love it. Is he coming? No, he's not coming yet. I should probably slow down and get a bit excited. Whew. That hill was brutal.
There's no more like that. That was the last one. How did it feel?
Very strong. He's a Kenyan one. Yeah, he's straight on the hills. Heavy hills. 800 meters. Nice. Don't kill me. Stand here. Just go down.
Okay, I'll just check on the other group. Okay. I'll be coming. Have fun. Wako tu hapa.
Just that quick.
It's good. Nice. It's awesome.
Good.
So I'm done. 14 miles, 2 hours. That was amazing. That has to be the best long run I've ever done. It was just so beautiful. It was definitely the hilliest. You know, I'm from the forest, doing loads of hills, but that was the hilliest long run I've ever done. It was pretty savage, but Emmanuel kept me company and we chatted, and it was just so good to hear about him, and it was just really nice. The miles ticked by as we just chatted along, but those hills are savage and my legs are absolutely battered now. But what a start to Saturday. Just made it in time for breakfast. So I struggled to put into words how much I loved that long run. The route was beautiful. I loved the rolling hills. I had great company and I really enjoyed running and talking with Emmanuel. It was just perfect. This is probably a really good time to thank the Kenya Experience for sending me to Iten. The Kenya Experience is a running training camp organised by runningtrips.co.uk. And I naively thought that to go to Iten and train, you've got to be like a super elite. And I'm a decent club runner, but that's it. I'm not that level. But I was completely wrong. One of the best things about the Kenya Experience is the group. And you can be pretty much any level of runner. As long as you love running and are going to get lots out of the experience by going out and running in these amazing places, then you can go. And I love the group aspect because you're meeting all these people from around the world and you make great friends and you're going on these amazing experiences together. You'd start the runs together, going slow, pole, really nice and slow, gently easing into the run. And then you'd go at your own pace and you'd have one of the pacers who works for the Kenya Experience, local, they know the area, and they keep you company and give you advice and chat to you. And it was just really, really good. And I've made lifelong friends out there. And I just loved the whole way it was set up. The seminars, the camp itself, the people that work for the camp were amazing. Hugo, the coach, was incredible. Willie is such an incredible guy. Literally will do anything to help you, but it's so funny. He's got such a great sense of humour. You had the assistant coach Collins, which was a bundle of knowledge, and it was just brilliant. And I can't recommend it enough. So yes, I was gifted the opportunity to go on the Kenya Experience camp, but I haven't been paid to say anything. I haven't even been paid to make videos. I'm just telling it how it is, and I think you can tell from the videos that I'm just trying to express my experiences, and yeah, I loved it. So now let's talk about the long run in Kenya. So pretty much everyone in E10 is doing their long run on Saturday. They see the long run as a session. It's not an easy day, so they run it really quite steady. They'll start slow, build to a steady pace, and hold it there. Early in the season, when they're building their base, they'll just go out in the forest and do it on hilly terrains. It's hilly everywhere, so you can't avoid the hills really. The marathoners told me that the shortest long run they would do, they said the shortest long run they would do is 30k, but I'll come on to a different type of run they do as part of their long run too. So they do 30k, then on 35, maybe 38, 40, all on the hills, getting really strong, really fit, steady effort. I would say it's probably like their aerobic threshold. They're not pushing towards like half marathon pace or anything like that. It's just that really nice steady effort. But it's a hard run and it does take a lot out of you. Then as they got closer to race day, they would do some runs that are a bit more specific. So they would make the effort to go somewhere a little bit flatter. So Moyben Road, I didn't actually go. It's a little bit flatter. I've been told it's not actually flat, and for us Westerners we'd be like, what? I was told it was flat. This isn't flat. But yeah, it's a flatter route, it's a lower altitude, and it's a better surface to run on. You can run a lot closer to marathon pace on roads like that. There are other locations you can drive to around Eldoret where you can find flatter roads, better surfaces, and that slightly lower altitude to do those harder long runs. I must mention that some athletes in E10, if you don't know a friend who's driving to one of these roads, if there isn't a truck you can jump in the back of, if you can't get a lift basically, then you haven't really got many options. You're just going to have to go in the forest and do your runs there, or just try and find the flattest road you can in E10, which is pretty difficult. So these flatter runs are reserved for the people that can get to the locations to run. So talking to Emmanuel and his marathon block, he says that him and his group, they'll do a 25k tempo run as close to marathon pace as they can, despite it being altitude, and they'll do that 3 times in a block. So they'll go to a road, a flatter road, they'll be working really hard. It's a much shorter long run, but they'll be working at that really faster end long run. Feeling wise, Well, pretty much your typical Iten Kenyan isn't fueling on the run. They're just going out and running. I asked Emmanuel, are you guys having breakfast? He was like, well, I had a banana before I came out, but I don't even normally do that. Even though it's a long run, they just have a cup of tea, cup of chai, and they get out there and run it. If they're lucky on those specific long runs and those 25k tempo runs, they might have a car there with some drinks, but that's for the more privileged and super elites. There are the super elite groups that I would call them, the groups that are sponsored by different brands and have Western coaches, and they're much more likely to have a car that might give gels or drinks with carbs in. But for most local runners trying to break through in E10, they won't be fueling on the run. It's probably a good time to mention the weather. They get out really early for their long runs. They get out about 6 a.m. and I know weather can change. When I was out there, it was actually quite cold at that early in the morning, and it probably didn't warm up until after the run. So despite Kenya being on the equator and being a really hot country, they're not actually running in the hotter part of the day. One of the cool things I saw on my run was a few men pacing their wives, which I thought was really cool. Me and Kelly run together as well, so I just related to that and I thought that was quite nice. So what I'm going to do, I've had so many questions. I've had a number of questions on Instagram and questions in the comments. So I'm going to do a Q&A, and I've already written down loads of questions that I've had, and there's so many that it's going to be a two-part Q&A, try and cover everything and give a little bit of detail in the answers, not just one-word answers. But I want to open it up to you guys. So if you have any questions, get in the comments of this video, leave any question you've got about Kenyan running. I'm not an expert, but I've been there, I've spoken to some people, and I've got access to people that have a lot more experience than me in Kenya. So I can ask them if I don't know the answers or if I need a bit more clarification on things. So get your comments in the comment section, and I will do my best to do a two-part Q&A and discuss everything about Kenyan running, and hopefully that might be interesting to some of you. As I mentioned, I've had lots of questions, but one of the things I did want to talk about in this episode is supplementary training. So I've been talking about all the core I did in Kenya, but this is quite misleading because when you actually talk to the majority of Kenyans, pretty much every Kenyan I spoke to in E10 said they weren't really doing any strength, they weren't doing any core. It's very much a misconception to think that they're doing loads and loads of this supplementary stuff. So yes, Bridget Kosgei and a few other elite runners were in the core class I went to, but it was very much a privileged situation they're in. They're very wealthy runners, very top athletes, world record holder. So they've got the money to go to this sort of core class, and you'll have other top groups that may have a Western coach and sponsor support, and they might be pushed into doing some strength and some core and some drills and things like that. But your average elite runner in E10 trying to make it, which is the majority of the runners there, they're not really doing any of this stuff. They're not doing strength, they're not doing core, and you don't really see many or any of them doing drills either. So these were aspects of training that I did when I was in Kenya, because I know they're good for your training, but they're not really what the actual Kenyans are doing. I would say one of the huge differences is that they grew up in this rural lifestyle and very active, and it's hilly where they train, and you get really strong from that. Whereas in the Western lifestyle I've lived in, I'm sitting down at a desk, and I had quite an active lifestyle actually as a kid, but not to the degree that these kids are growing up, and I think that makes a difference. Also, I avoid hills, which is my own flaw and something I'm going to change in my training. But I think they've got really strong just from lifestyle and just the way they live and the way they train, and perhaps they could benefit from some supplementary training with some weights and maybe some core and strides and stuff like that, drills especially, but perhaps they wouldn't. It's difficult to tell because they are so strong. As you can tell from results at World Cross Country, the Kenyans just dominate. I think what they're doing works despite the fact they're not focusing on the supplementary training. Massage is another one. Some of them are getting massage, but it depends if they can afford it. They prioritize their running because massage is a cost that they can't necessarily invest in. So talking to some of the runners, they were going to use some of the money they got from working for the Kenyan experience to get a massage, which they hadn't had in a while. It's actually similar back here. I can't really afford to get regular massage. I'd love to, but it's just almost an investment that I don't think I can afford, just to get one every week, which is what I would like to do because they're so expensive here. So I think it's an interesting topic because I was kind of under the impression that they were doing loads of core and they were doing loads of drills, but in fact, that's not true. There are groups doing it. If you look at Kipchoge over in Cap to Cap with the NN running team, they're doing some strength, they're doing some drills, they're doing all this supplementary stuff, but they didn't used to. It's not the Kenyan way, if you like. They've just sort of progressed into that because they've seen the benefits and understand that this could be an extra 0.5% here, 0.5% there. Whereas most Kenyans, they train. I would say 85-90% of Kenyans in Iten are following the structure I gave in yesterday's vlog and not really doing much else except for just relaxing, sleeping, resting, recovering, and that's it. But it works, they get really fit, and many of them then break through and become top runners around the world. Anyway, I want to go back to Kenya and show you how I spent the rest of my day and some of the things you can do if you end up going there. So I've had breakfast and the next thing up is massage. And massage over here is so cheap. I feel bad how cheap it is. It's like £3 for a massage where I'm going. I hope it's not a case of you get what you pay for, but we shall see. I needed a massage before I came out here, so it's good that I've booked in, and yeah, it might be an experience. We'll find out. The only thing is, I don't really know what the etiquette is. If you tip, if you pay more, because I kind of want to pay more, because £3 for an hour massage is just too cheap. It's insane. So yeah, I'm a bit, what's the word? Uneasy about it. I'm not quite sure what the etiquette is. So that's massage done, and he was great. Really thorough, full hour. Did all of my legs, did my back, my neck, and I feel really good after that. I always get a bit sore because he went quite deep after a massage, so it's good that I got a rest day tomorrow, but hopefully it'll have my muscles feeling a little bit better for Monday. It's lunchtime now, but yeah, I've had a really good start to the day. A long run, massage ticked off, and yeah, I'm absolutely loving it here. Right, next up today is a talk on Kenyan training. It's just like a seminar, which will be really interesting. I feel like I've already got a really good flavour from just grilling people and asking questions, but this will be another opportunity to ask questions and just try and understand the Kenyan running culture, which is why I'm here really. I don't think I'm going to get massively fit in a week, but what I can do is really embrace the Kenyan running culture, learn some more stuff, and ask as many questions as I can.
Let me take you a little bit back. Like, training in Kenya, it started training more scientifically like maybe around about 10 years ago. Like,
So it's market day in Iten and it is rammed. I'm looking forward to looking around and seeing if there's anything I want to buy, maybe some presents for the family, maybe some fruit. So I'm not sure how well you can see it, but I'll put a video up. This is the Rift Valley and it is a beautiful, beautiful scene. Yeah, I don't think a video or a photo would do it justice, but it's beautiful. So Google tells me that the Great Rift Valley runs all the way from Mozambique, all the way up through Africa, up to Lebanon in Asia.